I wanted to go ahead and show you how to use your new back office dashboard with MX Merchant. You will go to the email address up here, excuse me, not the email, the URL, mxmerchant.com /mx6/login. You'll then go to the sign in and it'll say Saint Benedict, and I'll send you the login password, and you'll hit sign in. And then what we will be doing is you're going to see this. This is considered your dashboard. Now your dashboard is where you'll see all your information from this month, your lowest month so far, your highest month, what your average is. If you wanted to see just today, you could hit that. If you wanted to see the week, you can hit this. Lifetime, you can hit this. So if we're going to go just back to the month, which is basically the default, you'll see April, all the days of the week, and you'll see little grids here that'll tell you how much was brought in on each day. So this is basically kind of pretty. A lot of people like to look at this and see, oh, look at April was so much more, May was so much less, what's going on? So the first big thing you see as you look to the left at your dashboard here, this side, is Quick Pay. Quick Pay is a way for you to go ahead and have this actually come up here and put this, bookmark this, or put it onto your your screen as an icon. You can just go ahead and have that, have Merchant MX there, so it's easy to just click on it, open it, and take a payment. So what you would do is say it's a sale from a card. If it's over the phone, I would highly recommend you tell them to go to the website to make a payment. But if it isn't over the phone, then it's present, and you'd say you key entered it here, and you put the amount in, 10000. Oh, I made a mistake. Just go back. Just go delete. Yeah, just go. Oh, there it is. Now where did I do that? Oh, there it is. Backspace, backspace. It's early. So again, 1 penny, 000, $10, for example. You go ahead and enter the credit card, the expiration date, their zip code, the security code, and when it asks for the street address, it's just the street number, 100, 701, whatever the address is. Now don't just charge. Go down here and put a memo, say wedding, wedding or funeral or mass flowers. Now, some of these will be covered again under your your church resource management software, and that's fine. But if they're walking into the office, you're going to have to then either go into the software and do it that way, which is fine, or this is another option. Make sure you put the name of the customer. So we put Stephanie Cates, and then you can give, if I have the envelope number, this would be my customer number. And then come back up in here, hit charge. Now, obviously without a credit card here, it's not going to go through. Once it goes through, you're going to get a green box and it's going to say email or print. I highly recommend that you ask them for their email address, because this will allow you to keep that information and make sure that you can be able to reach out to them in the future. So I would go ahead and do that. So let's get rid of that. That's how you take a, yeah, it just told me that there was no payment. It was an error. I didn't put the credit card in. Okay, here's where all the payments, this is where all your transactions are going to look like. This is the type of transaction. So the credit card sale, was it cash, credit, or card? Was it cash, credit card, or check? The amount, the authorization number, customer name. Source is important to you because the source will say API if it's going through the church resource management. So all the website, text to give, Facebook, anything that is connected to the church resource will have the letters API. Over here, it's a memo, and the memo will only talk if it says Quick Pay. So if you use this green button here and took a payment, it'll show here under quick pay. Okay, so memo. If you have quick pay here, the memo you wrote there would say mass flowers or wedding or funeral. All right. Batches. Batches is very important because it shows you that the number of the batch, and it tells you how it was paid, how much, and when that batch was closed, meaning the date that it got sent to us. So I have already gone through, and I'm going to go to settings right now and payments. And I've already set this up to go at 11:50 p.m. The reason why we do it that late at night is because we want it to start as close to midnight and stay and take all the payments within one day. We have found that the churches find it easier when they reconcile batches, meaning the full amount that came from each day with what gets deposited into their bank account. If we did it at 6 o'clock, you may have people making payments on the website from 6 to midnight. And as a result of that, you'd end up with two batches, and one would show that it was from one day, but yet since the batches only go in before 6 p.m. every day, you'd show it like a day or two later, and it got very confusing. So in order to minimize the confusion, we've changed it so that all the parishes that are with us, we make it so that they're at 11:50 p.m. Yes, there's 9 minutes or 10 minutes that someone could have potentially run in there and make, a deposit, but we think this will be minimal. You can take and record. You can't take, but you take credit card. However, if you take a cash and check, and it's just something somebody wants to do, but they want a receipt, you could come in there, and when you go to quick pay up here, you see where it says card, you could put go ahead and put check. And when you do that, you can put the check name on there, and then advanced, you put what it's for, customer name, and such like that. So you do have an opportunity if somebody wants a receipt not to have to do a handwritten one. Again, I encourage you to use the church resource management software. You would just have to go into that software and potentially create the person's name if they're not already in the system. Let's go back to the batches here. So when you're in the batches, oh, I'm sorry, we were in settings. So again, as you can see, you can take these. All of this basically automatically, you're not making, you're going to close quick pay as soon as you finish the transaction. And I'm just going to go back in here and save this. Let's go here to look at receipts. Here's your receipts. Basically, this is the preview. It's going to look like this. I'm going to go ahead for this one. I'm going to go ahead and put a logo in here for you. I just need to get it at the right size and get it inputted so that anybody that's getting an email receipt will look like this. If it's a text receipt, it'll look like this, etc. Will look like this as well. Okay, so you have no refunds. The phone and the URL will appear on that receipt. So it'll say, it'll have your address, your phone number, the date and the time, and then your URL, which is stbenedict.com. So that'll all be in there along with the amount, the approval code, and et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Again, your return policy is right here. All right, let's move on. In with here, I've already set up your notifications. So every month we send you a notification the first couple of days of the month saying that your statement is ready, and you will get that at stbenedictmiami@gmail.com. I also do your PCI compliance. PCI means Payment Credit Industry Security Compliance. It is to make sure that everybody who has a website or everybody who has a credit card processing account knows that you can't write credit card numbers down and leave them sitting on your desk. You can't leave your website vulnerable. It has to be protected. And so that's why you have SSL and encryption. So those are the kinds of things that we need to make sure that we're able to to take care of for you. So I take care of that for you, and it's coming to me. But just in case, I have a second notice coming 10 days later to St. Benedict Miami at Gmail. This is to make sure that you know that your PCI is due, and you can either email me, call me, and just say, hey, I see that the PCI is due. Did you get it done yet? Because I do get busy, but I have it coming to me as an email alert. So as an email, alert. So I should be able to take care of it. It's pretty quick. The next one, if I go to settings, is team. So here is where you can add additional team members. You put a username, then the first name, last name. There is only supervisors or clerks, mean read only, like they can take a transaction. But you might want to go ahead and allow your bookkeeper or accountant or somebody access to this. And again, down here, we want to go ahead and remove this. We don't want them to be limited as to how much money they can accept on your behalf. So that's the only thing I would do here. All right, I'm canceling it. The only team member right now actually is Julio de Jesus at this number. All right, and so this is where any passwords would be changed. Right now, I am not, I'm not going ahead and doing any of those changes. If you change the password and I need to get in, I can't get in. So I've kind of asked everybody to leave the password until they become very efficient and don't need me to be making changes or anything, okay? Let's see, now, and that's where you would go ahead and sign out right over here. Let's go down to settings again. This is the PCI compliance. Right now, it hasn't been done. You were just approved yesterday, so this will be done probably today. I like to get them done right away, and then you'll see that it says compliant, and then the history will tell you when it got compliant, okay? Let's go back to settings. Right up here, you can do and then this is your API. This is what is sent to Diego and CRM Boost to connect a gateway, an e-commerce gateway to accept payments. So that has already been sent to them today. And then links. This is if you wanted to put a link in an email or someplace else that you wanted people to be able to click on and make a payment, like, you know, register here. We can obviously do those for you as well. Let us know if that's ever. Now, Diego would probably prefer that you let him know, because he can put in events besides, you know, building fund donations, weekly donations, monthly, whatever they're doing. He could also put a ladies retreat, a couples seminar, whatever's there that the church has as an event can be put on his software, and then you guys can set that up to have people pay. Let's see, going back to settings, and then terminals. This has nothing to do, we're not going to be, at this point, we're not looking at terminals, so we'll not worry about that. All right, then, let's see. Coming down to the next thing that's really important would be your account. If you hit on account and then hit merchant services, this is all your information. If something happens or changes, you can make some simple changes right here. Right? And then you can make simple changes. Well, you can make some changes here, but we may have to, they may want some paperwork or another signature. Right now you're getting paperless statements, and I'll show you where they are. And you cannot make any changes to the bank account right here. It says it doesn't allow you. This is actually for notifications. If you want to change your bank account, you click on this and it says you'll have to call me. So you need to call me when you're ready to get a new bank account, and then I'll send you the paperwork that needs to be signed. You'll send that back to me along with the new check or bank letter that has the routing and account, and I'll be able to submit that on your behalf. Here are the statements. It'll say right here, there'll be a box that'll say the months of the year, and you'll be able to drop down and pick the month that you want. At this point, I've got people that have about 18 months worth. So I would say that anywhere from 18 months to 3 years probably stay on here. So this is where you would go. Remember, we're sending you a notification at the beginning of each month that your statement is ready. When you do is you just log in, as I showed you at the beginning, and then you come over here to Account, Merchant Services, and Statements. And from here, you can actually upload it, you can print it, you can send it to somebody. You can do a lot of things with that, okay? So let's, almost last but not least, let's go to your reconciliation, your reports that you have. So ACH funding. ACH funding is the money, how we're paying you. When are your deposits? So this is the routing number it's going to, your account number, and the amount, the type, you know, what was it? Did we deduct money for our fees or did we make a deposit? And then the date that that happened. If somebody wants that, you can go ahead and click this button up here in the right-hand corner, and then it makes that into a PDF, this with everything, and then you can print it. That's a new feature that we have, and we really like that. Next, you can go to reports, and you can get a batch report, which basically shows each date with the batch number, how many sales there were, what that amount was, were there any refunds. If there were refunds, you'll show a net amount, but usually the net amount paid is the same. So this is what is a good report, and it's important because many of the churches, as I've been through, their accounting or bookkeeper goes through and wants this batch amount to match with their bank account, the deposits that are shown. So again, two ways to show that. The ACH funding will say what we paid, but better yet, it'll come back to the batch and it'll show what each one of the payments into the bank was. And once you hit on batch, there's a batch number, you'll have a green, and when you open that, it'll say, you know, what the sales were. And then if you click on each sales, it will actually tell you who those were. So it's pretty nice. And then going back here again, you have let's see, transaction backs. Chargebacks are not going to be really important for you, and expired cards. This report, when you have people on recurring payments, this can be good, but you're going to be using the church resource management software, and your parishioners are going to be signing up for recurring billing there. Okay. So with that, I think we're almost done now. Oh, help desk. So I want you to go to help and then go to documents. If you can't reach me, if you have a quick question, you want to remember batches, or what will I see in a batch? You'll see the batch number. So how was it paid? Was it a sales number of transaction, the amount, was there any refunds, net, and then close date on it. And it shows you how to come in here and specify. So that was what I needed to do. Under reports, if I want funding, I would come up here to this little funnel, click on here, and I want to say from March 1st to March 31st, and then I hit apply. And of course, you have nothing here, but you see all of your deposits will show here. And so this is important because you don't want to be, screening through. And then again, you just come over here, or you can export this data into, there's nothing to export. So with that, you just go ahead and there's nothing here to export. So that's why I came up an error, okay? But if you did want to just go ahead and print a copy of it, but a lot of people like to export it sometimes, and especially if you're going to be exporting anything to go into the, so then you would just print this report, okay? Let's see, report and come back here. So your documents is where you're going to be able to go in and look at anything you need, like under settings. It'll allow you to figure out what you need. If you can't remember how to add, a team member, oh, it'll say, okay, to how to create a new team member. Oh, yeah, that's right. Stephanie mentioned that. So this is what you want to do. This kind of distinguishes, you know, what an administrator can do, what a supervisor can do, you know, all of these things. And then it talks about different things, how to edit your, and there are videos on here too, if you're interested in looking at any of these videos. I try to make it customized for your dashboard, for your this is it. So I think we're done. To sign out, you just come on over here and hit the sign out, and you would be out of this. My suggestion is that you put it somewhere either up here on your tabs or down here, or try to do an icon and put it right on your desktop to make it easy for access if you should need it. Well, again, thank you so much. I wanted you to have which would then show you all how to get in MX Merchant. All right, well, you have a great day. Thank you.